Hi guys, welcome back to Finpact. Guys, I'm really excited to announce that I have launched my Patreon, and this will allow you to have exclusive content in real time and know what trades and what I invest in when I do, and also have the chance to speak to me and ask me any questions and have a lot of support from me directly. So the link is down in the bio, so check that out, and it would be fantastic to get support from you guys on my Patreon, and I hope that I also can help you in your investment journey via my Patreon. Ethereum has given decentralized finance a head start. However, we've seen that it is slow and pricey. So many large blockchain companies such as OK Group and MXC have started looking to investing in Solana. Now, I believe that the reason why Solana is so unique and why it's positioned itself to become a leader in the industry is because it has combined the proof of stake protocol with the proof of history consensus algorithm. And these combined have allowed Solana to become more energy efficient and have faster transactions. By design, this protocol is going to allow Solana to best achieve scalability. Now, the CEO, Anatoly Yakovenko, came from a background of software engineering, where he has a large history of working at some top institutions, including Dropbox, and he created the proof of history consensus algorithm. It is essentially addressing the problems which has caused Ethereum to be very slow and pricey when it comes to its fees and its transaction speeds. Now, proof of history uses Bitcoin's SHA-256 hash function, which essentially allows time to be kept inside the blockchain. Now, the really technical way to look at this would be that in Solana, they use a granular, verifiable delay function, which is the SHA-256 hash chain, to checkpoint the ledger and coordinate consensus. With it, we implement optimistic concurrency control and are now well en route towards that theoretical limit of 710,000 transactions per second. Now, all you need to know for Solana is that the Bitcoin's hash function SHA-256 allows Solana to have a theoretical limit of up to 710,000 transactions per second. That's essentially what the proof of history allows Solana to do. So essentially, it's building a blockchain that is secure, decentralized, and scalable. There are 8 core innovations for Solana that have enabled it to have faster transactions and also be able to have a larger volume of transactions per second. And these include, as I mentioned, the proof of history and the Tower Byzantine fault toleration. This is basically a consensus algorithm that takes advantage of the synchronized clock. So this is like in the proof of history, there's a cryptographic clock. I mentioned that they lock in time in the blockchain, in the hash function, and this allows the consensus to be reached without having to incur massive messaging overhead and transaction latency. Another function that basically makes it faster. And then we have the turbine, which is a block propagation protocol. The turbine protocol makes it easier to transmit data to the blockchain nodes. So this allows the communication to be done easily because it breaks the data into smaller packets so that transmissions to the address are easily done. Smaller pieces go through rather than big chunks. Imagine like a teleporter or like a pipe, and you are trying to squeeze in a huge block of cheese. Now, that's not going to squeeze through that pipe, but if you break that block of cheese into little pieces, then they can all sort of flow through that pipe and go down faster. So think of it like that, as that's what Solana does through its turbine function, and therefore this transaction speed is faster. Then it has a Gulf Stream protocol, which allows it to forward its transactions to the edge of the network. Also, on top of this point, I should add that the requirements to be a validator on the Solana network is not that high. If you see here that the validator requirements, so for example, they've very clearly outlined the hardware recommendations. If you want to be a validator, the CPU, so the central processing unit, needs 2.8 gigahertz or faster. Sort of, they've listed it. A certain RAM, a certain disk space, GPUs. So almost anyone, you and I, could be Solana validator. So this ease of becoming a validator means there's lots of validators that can enter the Solana system, and their Gulf Stream allows the validators to execute the transactions ahead of time, reducing confirmation time, faster leader switching, and reduce memory pressure on validators from unconfirmed transaction pools. So the ease of becoming a validator means that there is a plethora of validators available to be able to execute the transactions in this very fast speed. Then we have C-level, which is parallel smart contracts runtime. C-level is a hyper-parallelized transaction processing engine that is used to scale horizontally across GPUs and SSDs. So with this system in place, it allows Solana to obtain an efficient runtime and also allow transactions to run concurrently on the same state blockchain. So then we also have the C level, which is a hyper-parallelized transaction processing engine. This allows Solana to obtain a more efficient runtime and also allow transactions to run concurrently on the same state blockchains. And then we also have the pipeline, which is a transaction processing unit for validation optimization. So when the information is validated by the validators, it allows transaction information to be replicated across all nodes in the network. So this basically allows the validators to have the ability to quickly validate these transactions and also transmit and replicate across all the nodes in the network. So that is another way of efficiency. And then we have Cloudbreak, almost like a data center. So it's a horizontally scaled accounts database. And this allows for the scalability. And this almost stores the data from these concurrent transactions that take place on the same state blockchains, but also the ones that happen across the rest of the network. And lastly, we have the archivers, which is a distributed ledger storage. And this is, again, another sort of data center, which is used for data storage. Now, Solana also has a function of the Solana cluster, which essentially is just a bunch of computers working together. So it's just a cluster of computers, but these cluster of computers are essential in validating the transactions in the blockchain. So they can be viewed from the outside as a singular system, but they are a set of independently owned computers that usually work together. They can also work against each other, and the computers help verify the output of untrusted user-submitted programs. It's a great way of verifying the different events that take place within the Solana system. So here's a fantastic diagram to explain how Solana works. So we have the transactions. Then these transactions go to the leader, and then the leader orders these transactions in order so that they're rightly in place to go to the right replication node. So that is called the verifier 1 and verifier 2. Once they get sent there, the verifiers will then execute the same transactions on their copies of the state and publish their signatures. So they will validate it, and it then receives confirmation. Then these confirmations will then serve as votes for the consensus algorithm, and therefore we go. And that is the transaction flow throughout the Solana network. Solana also has a token in its network, and this is called the Sol token. It's the native currency, and it can pass to nodes within the Solana cluster in exchange for running on-chain programs or validating its output. So the validators can be paid in Solana tokens. So Solana is renowned in the industry and has some fantastic partners very well established in the crypto world. So we can see their list of partners on their website that they have here. It's on Binance, it's on Bitfinex, some top exchanges. We have their own sort of Solana ecosystem with Sol Farm, Solflare, different things built on the Solana blockchain. We have many leading partners such as Chainlink, Project Serum, FTX, Akash, Terra, Civic, Defuse, Stardust. There's many more. So Solana has proved itself by partnering and retaining partners that are very well established in the crypto industry. So Solana was created in Solana Labs around 2017 in San Francisco. We've seen some media coverage recently on CNBC, which says that Solana Labs CEO discusses faster and more energy efficient blockchain. And this is giving Solana mass media coverage by giving it television coverage. The interviewer essentially asked, you tell me that Bitcoin and Ethereum don't work as fast as Solana? And he's basically like, no, Bitcoin and Ethereum can handle a city the size of Berkeley, California. So I think what he was implying by saying that is that Solana actually has a larger coverage than them, and they could perhaps hit a larger coverage of cities, maybe even countries. And he said that Bitcoin and Ethereum have tech that is largely outdated, almost 10 years old. Yes, us lot know that we've got ETH 2.0 and these things coming out, but the CEO of Solana said in this interview that he and the founders came from backgrounds from software engineering, such as from Qualcomm, and what they've gained from that experience and what their expertise has given Solana that competitive advantage by improving on what's been going wrong in Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, they also implemented the concept of Moore's law in their technology. This made me sort of think that when they are trying to replace the outdated technology that Ethereum and Bitcoin have, this reminds me of sort of just how I view investing. When you look at investing, if a company is positioning itself and adapting to the market and always striving to innovate and improve its research and development to improve their product, then I believe that they can win the race. Many times the first mover advantage doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be the last ones standing. And that may be in the next bull run, we don't know yet, because we do have ETH 2.0 coming out. However, the concept of being a first mover advantage with outdated technology tends to be replaced. Now, I always use Kodak as an example, but Kodak was one one that didn't adapt to the fast moving pace of technology. They didn't take on, they didn't harness the change of digitalization. They could have. They would have had enough capital to change the business strategy into a direction that was going to be better implemented in the future. Now, when we have Ethereum and Bitcoin, yes, we have ETH 2.0, but it's been so long. We've been waiting for ETH 2.0 for so long, whereas other companies such as Solana are already here, already have a product in place that they are working on and improving that is already miles ahead of Ethereum in terms of solving the problems that Ethereum already has. So that's why I personally invest in companies like Solana, which do provide those solutions to companies or cryptos that are already existing but haven't already come out with that solution. It is so hot. Now, the overall crypto market has shown recovery, and we know that many of these altcoins, or pretty much anything in the crypto industry, will follow what Bitcoin and Ethereum do. It will go Bitcoin, then Ethereum, and then the other few, and then the following alts will follow. Now, Solana is pretty high up on the list at number 13, and we saw that Bitcoin hit around $40,000, showed a slight correction, but nothing too worrisome, and it was a 26% retracement in the last 7 days. Naturally, the rest of the altcoin market will follow, and Solana has also showed that recovery from its initial correction, again from the Elon Musk and China FUD news around May 23rd. We saw a steady uptick in the price, and now we are sort of trading sideways, I think, for a bit until we see some major moves that happen in Bitcoin for the Solana price to reach to the upside. So I am very bullish on the price for Solana. What do you guys think of Solana? Have you guys invested in Solana yourself? Also remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure you do your own research before you invest in anything. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit that like button down below. Help push this video out. If you like Solana, help push this video out and hit that like button and comment below your thoughts. I also have a link down below for WEBULL, which allows you to get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,600 when you deposit your first $100, which I think is an insane deal. Also, guys, I'm really excited to announce that I have launched my Patreon, and this will allow you to have exclusive content in real time and know what trades and what I invest in when I do, and also have the chance to speak to me and ask me any questions and have a lot of support from me directly. So the link is down in the bio. We have different tiers that will suit you. We have a bronze Finpactor level, we have a silver Finpactor level, gold Finpactor, and VIP Finpactor level. So check that out, and it would be fantastic to get support from you guys on my Patreon, and I hope that I also can help you in your investment journey via my Patreon. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!